Well, it's 6:30 on Thursday. As you can see, I've got one rod out because I had a tench at 1:30 AM on the right hand rod. It got tangled in the middle rod, which I had to take out. So that rod became unfishable, and I didn't put the rod back out that had the tench. Yeah. So a tench at 1:30, brilliant. At least the baits are working, placement's good, so that's all positive. Distance sticks clipped up, get it back out. Bed. Need some more sleep. Well, it's 9 o'clock. Had a bit more sleep. Just in the last hour looking out at the water, not been able to see anything. Last day. March 20. Fingers are crossed. Been a great trip. Everything I wanted it to be. To anyone to come to this place. Water's boiling. If we have a clear night tonight, I'm going to try and shoot some time lapse. But I'll do it off the GoPro on the tripod on Stangate's Point. Be nice to get that for the film. Fresh coffee. Myself a proper mug. A bit of a treat. Illy. Ground coffee. Real cafetiere. So, what are my plans? Well, I'm probably going to go have a mooch, bring the rods in, have a mooch. See what we can see around this bank. See if we can spot any kingfishers. I found a couple of places where it lands, so I mean, I'd be very fortunate if I was able to, but if I could get that on film, that'd be superb. So there's going to be probably no action. Give the swim a rest, get the rods, get them reeled in. I also want to go and have a bit of an investigate down this margin here, down there, because there was quite a bit of noise last night that I could hear. Now, it could have been birds, or I'm not sure. But I want to go and have a way up because it might be worth one flicking one down there. So I'll, as I say, I'll bring the rods in, give it a rest, get the lines out of the water, have a mooch for a couple of hours, probably put some bait in, and then fish, probably mid-afternoon. I think that when it's hot, they're obviously not interested in feeding, but if you can catch them towards the end of the afternoon when the sun's starting to move and it's starting to cool, you know, they're probably still in this area, so if there's food there and there's baits are well placed, you might catch them be a more in the mood for a nibble. As I sort of mentioned last night, with this big patch of weed in front, the tench that I had at 1:30 buried itself in it. The fight lasted for about 40 minutes, and it wasn't really a scrap. I was just keeping the pressure on, but not being too aggressive with it. Eventually it got bored and shot forward, so you really feel like the line's gone slack, and I thought it had come off. It didn't try and scurry away, so I reeled down until I got contact again, and then I was able to bring it in. I'm going to have to try and sink my lines a bit better. I might put the tips under the water. Obviously I've got this weed out in front, so there's only so far I can sink it, because it's just going to sit on top of that. But I don't really want to be having to dismantle a rod in order to get a fish in. So I'll be making some changes with that. As I say, just the placement of the pod really. This is the pod I've got. It's the basic one of the two that Tasker do. So on mine, the legs can't be altered, the height of the legs. On the kind of more expensive pod, the legs can be. I won't be buying another one though, because Pete's got the more expensive one, and he's had it a bit longer than me, and it's absolutely knackered. I mean, it sees some action, but I think if I'm going to stick with the pod, I might look at something else. I'm not sure. I do like them though, because, you know, trying to get bank sticks in and get them level, stopping them twisting, it's too much hassle. Emily will tell you, I used to almost lose the plot when they weren't level and they were twisting round, and having a pod takes away that nightmare. Looks like it's going to be a great day. Oof, I've just seen a parakeet. Get quite a lot of them down here. This exotic part of the country, it's not like the wet and windy north. That'd be good to get on camera, wouldn't it? Parakeet. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good day. I've not checked the weather app yet. I'll do that in a minute. But looks like we're going to be, apart from that first night, blessed with a good week's worth of weather. And the daylight that we've had's been superb. Obviously, we've come at the best time of year to get the maximum amount of daylight hours. So it's been superb, absolutely superb. So I've checked the weather app, and we're going to have a great day. It's going to be clear, and it's going to hit 23 degrees, around 4ish. So I'm going to go and have a mooch around the lake, and shoot some 4K footage from some of the pegs, and I'll probably leave it half an hour to an hour for this sort of cloud to disappear, which it will do, just so I've got maximum light, so I get the best footage possible. I'm just going to go around to some of the known swims, just capture some moments from this place really. stable, which is what you need for 4K. So once the sun's really out and it's bright, I think we'll go and get some good stuff. So I'm going to have a mooch around the whole lake and yeah, take it from there. Obviously I'll bring the rods in before I do that, so I'll probably give it another 30 minutes to an hour. But it looks like we've got a good day weather-wise. Right, well it's 1:45. Busy morning. I've been off site, been to McDonald's, Big Mac meal, thought I'd treat myself. That was a couple of miles away, just out towards Staines. Good to get away from the water, you know, just recharge, see something else. I've come back and I've recorded all the Ultra HD footage that I wanted to record, so I've walked around probably 80% of the lake and been on swims that haven't been occupied to get some good footage. I've not seen it, so what it will be like, who knows. But I'm feeling refreshed and ready for probably 20 hours of solid fishing now. Yeah, last part of the trip, you know, been chatting to a guy on the lap round who's just got here, and you know, he's kind of still amazed at how awesome the venue is, and it's just hit him because he's just arrived and it's the first time he's fished it, you know, and he's on the kind of the start of his trip, and I'm coming towards the end of mine. So whilst I'm looking forward to getting back home and seeing, you know, Emily and my mum, I want to make the most out of this last 20 hours. So be good solid fishing now. Got all the footage that I wanted. That bit's done. So all the little inserts that I might need, you know, how I'll use it I don't know. Whether I shoot a dedicated 4K video for YouTube, I think this place deserves it myself. I took my catapult and bag of boilies around with me when I walked round the back of Cigar Island down that bank, and there's a path that you can get down that leads to the water's edge, and it's between these two clusters of trees there. You can see the path in the middle. So I basically stood there and just pinged some bait in straight out in front of me. So I guess from a water perspective, the bait is probably there. So when I put my right hand rod on that, my middle rod will be 13 wraps out, and my left hand rod will be on the other side of that weed that I talked to you about last night. So let's just show you that spot. There's kind of what looks like a bit of a tree stump. It's kind of horizontal. You see it there, I don't know what it is. There. So my middle rod will be going in line with that, but 13 wraps out, which is probably, I'd say, probably a little bit over halfway to the island. My left hand rod is going to go kind of in line with the end of that bush, but a little bit further out. Probably where that grebe is actually. That grebe that you can see. I noticed the grebe last night. It was milling around that area. So obviously through thick weed, so that's a clear spot to me. So I'll be putting one out there. There you go. Thanks, Mr. Bream. Right then, well, it's 2:15. All 3 rods are now out. Completely new rig for the middle rod. So that's gone out, as I said, 13 wraps. Hit the clip, first cast, so happy with that. So we'll see how it goes now. Play the waiting game for a bit. It's a bit cloudy. I'm expecting that to burn off next couple of hours, if the weatherman's right, which he probably isn't. Just gonna have a good look at what's in front of me for a bit. No real signs, but the wind's still southwesterly blowing into this bay, so I am hopeful. I'm very hopeful. I'm going to spam some bait out over that middle rod. Yeah, not just yet though. Do that in a couple of hours. Just round at Pete's peg. Look at the size of that. There's 2 of them. They are 2 massive lumps. Just having a little bit of a walk down this margin to my right. Creep about with all these dry leaves. Yeah, let me go around. Not as young as I used to be for climbing over branches. So I'm gonna make a tit of myself on camera. Big snag there. Should be able to get in this way. Maybe not. Grassy as well. What makes them racket? Nothing really visible. Could do with it being a bit lighter. Fish in there. cougar on my line. Haven't seen it. Coming out on a little private wood, isn't it? Back on the path now. You know, maximise my chances for getting another one. Going having a bit of a look. Seeing if I can see anything. Right, 10 to 7, I've not yet chucked out. Don't know whether to wait and see when the light changes. It'll make the weed more visible. I don't want to feel like I was in the same position as I was last night, because that would show no progress or development from last night. Now obviously I caught off the middle rod. Oh, it was actually the right hand. So I'm going to put one or two there anyway, but I just want to be a bit more comfortable in terms of what they're landing on. So certainly the other two rods. I've walked down the other bank, but the sun's too bright, even with the polarised bins on it. It's not helping. So I'm waiting for the light to change, really. My peg's in shade, which I'm quite grateful of, I have to be honest. Pete's a couple further down on Rocky Barge, and even he's sat in his bivvy behind one of his bivvy panels, which he's got shut. Must be warm if Jones is in the shade. Old piss booing himself. It's 7, all three rods are now out. 2 13 wraps, left and middle, right is towards the bay in the far right corner. So left in the middle of where I had the take last night at the tench. So hopefully the carp will move in. I'll also put a few spotfuls of 16 millers crow on that spot. A bit later when the birds have buggered off, I'll put the rest of the bait in, probably half a key of boilies, just with the catapult or the throwing stick, and just create a nice spread over the middle two rods. The guy on the next peg, George, has moved in for the night. The bailiff, he's having a night on Springate, so he's just putting some out with the stick at the minute, and the gulls are doing what they do, so I'll hold off for a bit. So the rods are out and the waiting game starts. You ask yourselves, will I get a bite? Want to get a bite? When might it happen? Stare at those alarms for an unhealthy amount of time and glance up at your spots where you've cast your rods. Filled with hope and dreams. Dreams that haven't been squished. And you hope that dreams are turned into a reality. And that's the beauty of this. It's cat and mouse. Can I trick these wise old carp into making a mistake and picking up one of my 3 hook baits? The beauty of carp fishing. Right. The light's changed and I've decided to change my approach as a result of being able to see those 2 distinct weed beds. I've changed the left and the right hand rod. What I'm seeing is a big space of weed, and then there's a strip at the back there, and then there's a strip in the front. There's some clear spots in the middle of that back clump. You can kind of make them out here. So I've left the middle rod in that position. 13 wraps. I'm pretty confident it's in that clear bit. The right hand rod I've put on the back of that weed. So, the finger's a bit blurry there. My left hand rod, zoom in a bit, I've put in between this bit and the back bit, in that clear bit. I wanted to do this last night and didn't, and the light's changed again tonight. I've seen this and I've thought, bugger it, the last night I'm doing it. So that's what I've done. I will catapult a few boilies over this left hand spot in the next half hour or so. But I'm glad I've done it. It's 9 o'clock. It's looking a bit carpy to say the least. Flat calm in this part of the lake. Few bubbles and swirls. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock Friday. Last morning before we head off in a few hours. My night's been, let's say, interrupted. Not had the greatest night's sleep. Had a big run on the middle rod at 1:30. No, it wasn't. It was 10 past 1 in the morning. Screamed off. Definitely sounded like a carp. A carp had picked it up. I got to the rod and I could feel something on the end of it. Didn't feel kind of particularly big, and I had a hook pull. Didn't seem to put up much of a fight. Seemed to come in quite easily. Started to make me think that it wasn't a carp, but I think it was with the run. And then after that, I must have been up 4 or 5 times with nudges and tickles. So, bit of a nightmare. The ironic thing was, when I had the take, I'd not been able to get to sleep. I'd stayed up last night until 12. I just wanted to have half an hour after the planes had stopped. So I just kind of wanted to absorb my surroundings and my last night at Wraysbury and all the rest of it. So I hadn't been able to fall asleep, so I was actually watching a clip on YouTube. Oh, excuse me. Of Terry Hearn describing the time he caught Mary at the British record weight off the Rocky barge. And he tells the tale very well. And whilst I was watching it, I had a screaming take. So I thought, wow. But there, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it in. Not to worry. So plans, well, basically organise myself and pack up. First job will be having a coffee. Coffee, sort myself out, and then probably text George in a couple of hours and say what time we going. Ideally want to be playing outside at 12. Ready for the journey up north. But I need to come round, so it's coffee time. I've not yet had my brew. Whilst I've been mooching about outside, I've seen 2 fish ashore. So I've put my left and right hand rods over them. Middle rod stayed where it is. The right hand rod in particular was over a spot that I tossed some bait in yesterday. So that's towards the far bank, that cluster of trees that I showed you. So I've just put that on there. 2 sweet casts. Very unlike me. Right. I'm gonna leave them where they are now. And definitely get on with this coffee. Well, it's 20 to 10. Last hour of fishing. Started to pack up. it's just a case of the rods coming in. It's overcast. I think it's a good day for a bite. Whether we'll be fortunate enough to have one in the next hour remains to be seen. But it's cloudy, it's a bit muggy, overcast. We had a few spots of rain earlier. I've seen more carp show themselves today than at any other point in this trip. Particularly towards the back of Cigar Island and to the right of the island that's in front of Spring Gates. That's the beauty of carp fishing, isn't it? Never tell. Right, I'm going to carry on packing my... So it's 20 past 10. Bivvy's down. Rods are still out, got a bit more tidying up to do. But I'll be done and dusted by 11. So, we're coming towards the end of the sesh. Been an absolutely superb 5 days. It's been an absolute tremendous experience fishing here. I'd recommend to anybody, if you get the opportunity to fish Wraysbury, North Lake, you should do it. It's been an absolutely wonderful 5 days. It's an awesome venue. It's steeped in history. History that RK Leisure have maintained with retaining some of the features like the barge, the dredger, and they've improved this place. They've improved it. They've put secure fencing all around the North Lake. They've put a track all around it so they can get people to the backs of the pegs on the buggies. They're obviously putting a lot of effort into the clubhouse facilities, into the lodge. So not only is it full of history, but they're going to create new history. You know, when people look back in 10 years, it'll have created a new vision. It'll be something else. They've not just stuck with what Wraysbury kind of was. They've really added to it. I'll definitely be coming back. Definitely. I've fished 3 pegs, did a night in Bonds, 2 nights in the bus stop, 2 nights in the lawns. I've had a 20-pound carp, I had a tench, and I've had a rum which unfortunately I lost. I'm buzzing. First Wraysbury carp, first trip. Pete had an 18 last night at 9:30. So we both caught. Couldn't ask for anything more. We're going to take that on Sunday when we arrived at 12 o'clock, I can guarantee it. But I'm telling you, it's worth checking out this place. The staff couldn't have been more welcoming, letting us use the facilities at Horton to have a shower. I've got to sort of, say thank you to Rupert and to George. They've really been so friendly towards us and have really taken care of us. Couldn't have asked for anything more. So I'm going to finish packing up the rest of my stuff, bring the rods in 10 minutes and that'll be that. It's a shame it's coming to an end, but I've loved it. I'm looking forward to getting back home, having a bath, seeing them. What a trip. Fantastic. So everything's packed away now. Just the rods left out. They're the last things to be packed away, which I'll do that now. George has just been round. He was on Spring Gates last night. He had one and lost one. So well done to him. He said it's going to get quite busy today. They're expecting a lot on, so no doubt he'll be having a busy day. He's just gone past me ferrying someone round. Right. Right. Everything's packed up. Just waiting for George. I hope you've enjoyed this series. It's kind of 2015's, I don't know, multi-episode extravaganza. I won't be doing anything like this again, I would imagine, this year. Maybe I can squeeze down here for 3 nights, who knows. That'd be good, wouldn't it? But the next time you see me, most likely be at a Disley Dam or a Linnet Clough. Be a bit different to looking out at this vast expanse of unbelievable water. So, until the next time, stay lucky, and I'll leave you to gaze at the wonders of Wraysbury 1 North Lake.